there, my name is Dakota Karper. Today I have a tune for you in the key of G. This one comes from Gary Harrison, and it's a tune called Going Down to Cairo. Let's jump right in. As this is a G tune, my fiddle is tuned to standard tuning, so G, D, A, E. And in the A part, this is our first phrase. And again. One more time, try and pick it up by ear first. Those notes are D, D, C, B, D. And once again. Second phrase of the A part. A little more notey. Try and pick it up by ear first. One note, when I'm saying picking this up by ear, for some of you that might mean being able to hear the phrase and then make it come out of your fingers. And that's awesome if you can do that. If that is too far of a stretch for you right now, don't worry. Use that time when these phrases are being played by ear. Try, instead of being able to immediately play it, use that time to see if you can get it in your ear enough to hum it. So after I play it, if you can't play it back, try humming it back. Da 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 da. Something like that. That way you're still internalizing the melody before I'm telling you the notes. So one more time by ear, phrase 2. Now, those notes are D, C, B, G, A, B, A, G, F sharp, open D. And again together. Now we're going to put together phrase 1 and 2. Phrase 3 of the A part is exactly the same as phrase 1 of the A part, which means this is in call and response format. 4 phrases. Phrase 1 is the call. Phrase 2 is an answer to the call. Phrase 3 is the repeat of the call. And phrase 4 is going to be a completely different answer. So phrase 1, once you know it, in call and response format, that means you also know phrase 3. So this is phrase 3. Voila! So let's put together phrase 1, 2, and 3 of our A part. Now, phrase 4 of the A part is our second answer. It sounds like this. Try and pick it up by ear. One more time. Those notes are D, C, B, G, A, F sharp, G, G. Once more. Now we can put together the entire A part. It will sound like this. You can add some drones to this to enhance the tune a little bit more. So I would start off with the open D string as my drone as I'm playing on the A string. There, I could switch and use the low G as my drone, but instead I'm going to make a double stop, a chord, which is the B note on the A string, the G note on the D string. And then carrying on, that's released. Open D is my drone while I'm on the A string. And then I'm going to switch and use A as my drone here. The reason I can get away with using an A string as a drone note in the key of G, do you know the reason? It is because a D chord is being played there, and a D chord contains an A note. If I was playing, or if a G chord was being played, that A would clash terribly. But at this point in the tune, a D chord is being played, so the A fits in beautifully. Then, phrase 3, we're back to using open D as our drone. That's that G chord double stop again. I'm using the open D as my drone note against the A string. Using the A string as my drone against the F sharp. And then resolving, I have to use that G as my drone because it's now a G chord being played. It resolves, it goes back to the root note, the root chord, which is G. So let's put together the A part now with those drones and our one double stop as well. Now we're jumping into our B part. This is the first phrase of the B part. Pick it up first by ear. Those notes are D, E, F sharp, G. So that's a run all the way up the D string, and I'm doing a slur, so I put that all on one bow stroke. And then another G note, A to B, B, B to C. And again. And that's our first phrase. The second phrase of the B part sounds like this. By ear, 2 more times. Those notes, C to B, G, A, B, A, G, F sharp, D. Once again. Now our third phrase of the B part, just like the A part, is the same as the first phrase was because we're in call and response format. Phrase 3 and 1 are the same, but we're using phrase 1 from our B part, not phrase 1 from our A part. So that means this is phrase 3, which you already know. Phrase 4 of the B part, we are going to nod our head to the first ending, or actually the second ending in the A part. So it's the end of the A part is going to be referenced here at the end of the B part. This phrase sounds like this. Again. Those notes are C to B, G, A, F sharp, G, G. And once again. All right, now we're going to put together all 4 phrases and play the entire B part through. That's going to sound like this. And let's walk through what I do for drones. Open G is the first drone. I particularly like tension when I'm playing the fiddle, not held in my body, but tense sounds. I feel like they create this beautiful balance between harmonious and inharmonious. So you can go and play this in a rather tense way, where as you come to the A string for your drone, A string for your melody, you can leave the G note down, which is your third finger on the D string, and play that against A. Out of context, it sounds pretty rough. In context, it only sounds a little bit less rough. So if you want it to be a tad more harmonious, you can remove that finger and play an open D. That's your other option. Both are lovely. Another reason that I like to use that G, though, is because then I'm going to use that against the B note and against the C note to create 2 more chords. So in that walk up, I've started with just a tense sound and then a G chord when I put my B note down, and then a C chord when I add the C note. So I like that progression. That can be done also against the open D, though. Except for that last note. That's tense. I guess you could argue it could be used the same way I'm using G and A together, but if it were me, I wouldn't do the D and C together. I would drop that E note down to create this C chord. So if doing the open D is your main drone, you would use that. Then from there, that begins with open D as your drone, leave the B note down, add the G, that creates your G chord, then both come up. I'm using D as my drone string while I play on the A string, and then D chord is being played, so I'm going to use the A string as my drone as I'm playing melody on the D string. Then we're back to phrase 3, same options as phrase 1. Or phrase 4. That's using the D string as my drone against the A string, G chord, A string with the D drone, D string with the A drone, and then G as the final drone. Again, we're resolving, we're coming back to that root chord, so G and G together. So let's put that together, all those drones, all those double stops in our B part. For that, I did option 1 as the G chord when playing the first phrase. Option 2 as the G chord in this direction when playing phrase 3. All right, you have the whole tune. Let's put it together. We're going to play Going Down to Cairo, and we'll do it. It's A part, B part, B part is how the tune goes. So in the first A part, I'm just going to play the straight melody. And the B part, I'm going to add in, in the second A part, I'm going to add in drones and double stops. And I'll use that same format when we come to the B part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi there. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Dakota Karper. If you'd like to learn how to play old-time fiddle, then join me on Patreon. Patreon is a platform where I've shared over 100 video classes teaching phrase by phrase how to play tunes, as well as techniques and embellishments. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Check out my website, dakotakarper.com, and see what I'm doing in West Virginia at my folk music school, The Cat and the Fiddle. There, you can sign up for in-person classes as well as virtual classes. Hope to see you around.